Hey, beautiful Pisces souls. I need to talk to you today about something really profound that has been coming through in the cards. I just sat down to do this reading, and honestly, the energy that came through gave me actual chills. Not in a scary way, but in that way where, the universe is orchestrating something massive behind the scenes. So I shuffled the deck with you in mind, asking what Pisces really needs to understand right now about their family situation and the shifts happening in their life. And what came through is this incredible story about divine intervention, about being extracted from situations that no longer serve your highest good, even when those situations involve the people you have known your entire life. Before we dive in, I want you to take a breath. This reading might touch on some tender spots. Family is complicated, right? Especially for you Pisces, because you are so deeply empathetic and you feel everything so intensely. You have probably spent years trying to make things work, trying to be the peacemaker, trying to understand everyone else's perspective. But what the cards are showing me today is that sometimes the most loving thing the universe can do for us is to create distance between us and the dynamics that are slowly draining our light. The first card that came out for you is the Eight of Pentacles, and I have to say this card appearing first is so telling. The Eight of Pentacles is all about mastery, dedication, and the work you put into perfecting your craft. When I look at this card in the context of your family situation, what I am seeing is that you have been working so hard on yourself. You have been doing the inner work, going to therapy maybe, reading self-help books, journaling, meditating, whatever your practice looks like. You have been committed to your personal growth in a way that is honestly admirable. But here's what is interesting. The Eight of Pentacles shows someone bent over their workbench, completely focused on creating something beautiful. They are in their own world, in their zone. And I think this represents where you are right now or where you are heading. You are becoming so focused on building your own life, your own identity, your own sense of purpose, that the old family patterns just do not fit anymore. It is like you have been upgrading your operating system. And now when you go back to those old family dynamics, there is this incompatibility. Does that make sense? The universe is not punishing you by creating this distance. The universe is protecting the work you have done on yourself. Because what happens when you have done all this work to heal and grow, and then you go back into an environment that wants you to stay small, that benefits from you being the people pleaser, that needs you to play your old role, you start to shrink again. And the universe is saying absolutely not. Not this time. You have worked too hard to go backwards. I also see with the Eight of Pentacles that you are developing skills and talents that your family might not understand or value. Maybe you are pursuing something creative, something spiritual, something that does not fit into their traditional framework of success. And that lack of understanding can create this painful gap. But Pisces, your gifts are not meant to be understood by everyone. They are meant to be shared with the people who can actually receive them. Moving to the second card, we have the Ace of Cups, and oh my goodness, this is beautiful. After talking about all this work and dedication with the Eight of Pentacles, here comes this overflowing cup of emotional renewal. The Ace of Cups is about new beginnings in the emotional realm, about your heart opening to receive genuine love, about emotional fulfillment that is real and not conditional. What I am getting from this card is that as the universe removes you from these draining family dynamics, there is this incredible new emotional chapter waiting for you. Think about it. When you are constantly managing other people's emotions, when you are walking on eggshells, when you are trying to be everything for everyone, there is no room in your cup for anything new. Your emotional energy is completely spoken for. But when that space opens up, when you are not spending all your energy on dysfunctional family patterns, suddenly you have capacity for relationships that actually fill you up. I am seeing new friendships coming in for you, Pisces. I am seeing a chosen family situation where people actually get you, where you do not have to explain yourself, where your sensitivity is celebrated instead of criticized. The Ace of Cups is also about self-love. For maybe the first time in your life, you are going to have the emotional bandwidth to actually love yourself the way you have been loving everyone else. You are going to pour into your own cup, You are going to prioritize your own emotional needs. And I know that might feel selfish because you have been conditioned to believe that your worth comes from how much you give to others, but that is exactly the programming that needs to break. This card is also telling me that your intuition is about to get even stronger. Pisces, you are already naturally intuitive. But when you are enmeshed in toxic family dynamics, all that noise makes it hard to hear your inner voice. As you create distance, as you step into this new emotional beginning, your psychic abilities are going to amplify. You are going to know things. You are going to feel things. You are going to be able to distinguish between your energy and other people's energy in a way you could not before. The third card is the Tower. And okay, I know this card freaks people out, but stay with me. The Tower is not the villain of the deck. The Tower is actually the card of divine intervention. It is the card that shows up when the universe says, "You have been trying to make something work for way too long, and I love you too much to let you keep doing this to yourself." In your family situation, the Tower represents the sudden shifts, the unexpected changes, the moments where everything you thought was solid suddenly reveals itself to be unstable. Maybe there was a specific incident that happened, something that made you suddenly see your family dynamics with clear eyes. Or maybe it is happening right now as you are watching this. That moment where you cannot unsee what you have seen, where you cannot go back to pretending everything is okay. The Tower clears out what is not built on a solid foundation. And I hate to say this, but a lot of family relationships are built on obligation, guilt, tradition, and codependency rather than genuine love and mutual respect. That is a painful truth, but it is the truth. The Tower comes in and says these structures cannot stand anymore because they are not supporting your highest good. I want you to understand something really important. The Tower might feel like loss in the moment. It might feel like your world is falling apart. But the Tower is actually liberation. It is the universe removing you from a building that was about to collapse anyway. Would you rather stay in a crumbling building out of loyalty, or would you rather be pulled to safety, even if it feels scary in the moment? For you, Pisces, the Tower might manifest as physical distance. Maybe you are moving away, or maybe there is a fallout that creates emotional distance. Maybe boundaries you set are being met with resistance and drama. The Tower energy can feel chaotic, but there is a purpose to it. It is shaking loose all the enmeshment, all the unhealthy attachments, all the ways your family has had hooks in your energy. What I also see with the Tower is that this is not just about your immediate situation. This is generational. You are breaking patterns that go back decades, maybe even centuries in your family line. You are the one who is saying enough. You are the one who is choosing differently. And that takes so much courage, but it also comes with backlash because systems do not like to change. Families do not like it when someone stops playing their assigned role. The fourth card is the Star, and I actually got emotional when I turned this one over because after the Tower, here comes hope. Here comes healing. Here comes this beautiful reminder that you are divinely guided and protected. The Star shows up after the storm to say you are going to be okay, more than okay. You are going to find your way to something so much better. The Star is about hope, faith, and spiritual renewal. It is about connecting to something bigger than yourself and trusting that this difficult transition has meaning. For you, Pisces, the Star is confirmation that yes, this separation from toxic family dynamics is part of your spiritual path. This is not random. This is not punishment. This is divine orchestration. I love that the Star shows a figure pouring water, and Pisces, you are a water sign. This is your element. This card is telling me that as you step away from family drama, you are going to reconnect with your true essence. You are going to remember who you are underneath all the roles you have been playing, all the expectations you have been carrying, all the emotional labor you have been performing. The Star is also about your gifts coming forward. I mentioned earlier with the Eight of Pentacles that you are developing talents that your family might not understand. The Star says those gifts are about to shine. You are going to step into a level of authenticity and creative expression that was not possible when you were still trying to fit into your family's mold of who they needed you to be. This card also speaks to me about your healing journey, becoming an inspiration for others. You are not going through this just for yourself, Pisces. Your story, your courage to choose yourself, your willingness to walk away from what is familiar in pursuit of what is healthy, that is going to give other people permission to do the same. You are going to be a guiding light, which is exactly what the star represents. The fifth card is Ace of Swords, and this is that moment of absolute clarity I was talking about. The Ace of Swords is truth cutting through illusion. It is mental clarity. It is seeing the situation for exactly what it is, without the fog of emotion or the distortion of hope that things will change. For so long, Pisces, you have probably been making excuses for your family. You have been understanding their perspective, giving them the benefit of the doubt, seeing their wounded inner child, believing that if you just love them enough, they will change. The Ace of Swords is that sword that cuts through all of that and reveals the truth. And the truth might be painful, but it is also incredibly freeing. This card is about you stepping into your power mentally and intellectually. Maybe you have been gaslighted. Maybe you have been told that you are too sensitive, too dramatic, that you are imagining things or making things up. The Ace of Swords says no, your perception is accurate. What you experienced was real, your feelings are valid, and you have every right to protect yourself. I am also seeing with the Ace of Swords that you are learning to communicate your boundaries with clarity and firmness. This is huge for Pisces because you tend to be so gentle and accommodating. You hate confrontation. You would rather fade away quietly than have a difficult conversation. But the Ace of Swords is giving you the mental strength and the verbal precision to say what needs to be said, to draw clear lines, to not waver when those boundaries are tested. This card is also about cutting cords. There are energetic ties between you and your family that need to be severed, not with hatred, not with bitterness, but with clear intention. You can love someone from a distance. You can wish them well and still choose not to have them in your life. The Ace of Swords gives you permission to make those cuts cleanly. The sixth card that came through is the Hierophant, and this one is interesting in this context. The Hierophant is traditionally about tradition, conventional wisdom, family values, religious or cultural systems. In your reading, I see this card representing everything you are being asked to question and potentially walk away from. The Hierophant can represent the pressure to conform to family expectations. The whole "this is just how our family is," or "you owe us because we are family," or "you need to respect your elders no matter what" mentality. These are Hierophant energies. These are the traditional structures that keep people locked in unhealthy patterns because, well, that is just how it is done. But here is what is interesting. The Hierophant is also about spiritual teaching and wisdom. So in your journey away from toxic family dynamics, you are actually learning profound spiritual lessons. You are discovering that true spirituality is not about blind obedience to tradition. It is about honoring your soul's path. It is about choosing love over obligation. It is about breaking free from systems that diminish your spirit, even when those systems are wrapped in the language of family and duty. For you, Pisces, the Hierophant might also represent seeking guidance from mentors, therapists, or spiritual teachers who can offer you a different perspective. People who can validate your experience and support your journey. You might be drawn to study healing modalities, to explore different spiritual traditions that actually nurture your gifts rather than suppress them. The Hierophant is the universe's way of saying you are allowed to create your own value system. You are allowed to decide what kind of relationships are sacred to you. You are allowed to build a life based on your own understanding of what is right and true, not what you were told was right and true. This is revolutionary, and it is necessary for your evolution. Coming to the seventh card, we have the World. And honestly, this placement is perfect. The World is completion, achievement, reaching the end of a significant cycle. It is about coming full circle and stepping into a new level of wholeness and integration. What the World is showing me is that this separation from your family is actually you completing a major karmic cycle. You came into this family for soul reasons, to learn specific lessons, to have certain experiences, maybe to break certain patterns. And you have done that. You have learned what you needed to learn. You have grown in the ways you needed to grow. And now, that chapter is complete. The world is about celebrating how far you have come. Looking back at who you were before you started doing this inner work, before you started questioning the dynamics, before you found your voice and your boundaries, you have traveled such a long distance emotionally and spiritually. And the world is the universe acknowledging that and saying you have graduated from this particular school of hard knocks. I also see the world as you stepping into a much larger life. When you are enmeshed in family drama, your world is small. It is contained within the family system, the family narrative, the family limitations. But as you break free, the whole world opens up to you. You have opportunities, connections, experiences, and possibilities that were never available to you before because you were too tied up in trying to manage your family relationships. The world is also about integration. You are taking all the pieces of yourself that you had to hide or suppress in your family environment, and you are bringing them together into a cohesive whole. You are becoming authentically you, fully expressed, no longer fragmenting yourself to fit into different people's expectations. That is true freedom. That is what the world is offering you. The 8th card is 10 of Cups, and I have to take a moment with this one because it is so hopeful and beautiful. The 10 of Cups is the card of emotional fulfillment, happy family, love, and harmony. After everything we have talked about regarding difficult family dynamics, here is the universe showing you that you are not destined for loneliness or isolation. You are destined for genuine connection and joy. The 10 of Cups tells me that your chosen family is going to be incredible. The people you select to be in your inner circle, the relationships you build based on mutual love and respect rather than blood obligation, those are going to bring you the kind of happiness that you have always dreamed of but maybe never experienced growing up. This card is also about creating your own version of family and home. Maybe you are going to have children one day and break all the cycles that hurt you. Maybe you are going to create a home environment that is peaceful and nurturing in ways your childhood home never was. Maybe your family is going to be your close friends, your partner, your creative community, your spiritual circle. The 10 of Cups says that profound sense of belonging is coming for you, but it is coming through choice, not obligation. I also see the 10 of Cups as emotional mastery. After doing all this work, after setting these boundaries, after choosing yourself, you are going to reach a place of genuine emotional contentment. You are not going to be reactive anymore. You are not going to be triggered by every family holiday or guilt trip. You are going to be grounded in your own peace, and that peace is going to be unshakable. The 10 of Cups is also showing me that forgiveness might eventually come, but it is going to be on your terms and in your timing. And it might be the kind of forgiveness where you let go of the hurt without necessarily reconciling the relationship. You can forgive someone and still choose not to have them in your life. The 10 of Cups is about your emotional freedom and your right to design a life that makes you happy. The 9th card is Queen of Swords, and this is you, Pisces. This is who you are becoming through this whole experience. The Queen of Swords is someone who has been through some things, who has learned hard lessons, who has had to develop discernment and boundaries. She is kind, but she is not a pushover. She is compassionate, but she does not sacrifice herself. She sees clearly, and she communicates honestly. For a Pisces to embody, Queen of Swords energy is actually a really powerful evolution because it means you are balancing your natural empathy and intuition with mental clarity and emotional boundaries. You are no longer just absorbing everyone's energy and trying to heal everyone's wounds at your own expense. You are standing in your truth and protecting your peace. The Queen of Swords knows how to use her words as tools, not weapons. She can have difficult conversations without being cruel. She can say no without over-explaining. She can walk away without guilt. These are the skills you are developing right now, and they are going to serve you for the rest of your life. This queen has often experienced betrayal or disappointment, particularly from people she trusted. And rather than becoming bitter, she became wise. Rather than closing her heart completely, she learned to be more selective about who gets access to her. That is the journey you are on. You are not losing your beautiful Pisces heart. You are just learning to be more careful about who you give it to. The Queen of Swords is also independent. She does not need anyone to complete her. She has built a life that is fulfilling on its own, and she only allows people into that life who add value and respect what she has created. This is the sovereignty the universe is guiding you toward. Not isolation, but self-sufficiency and the freedom to choose your relationships rather than being stuck in them. The final card, the 10th card in this reading, is King of Pentacles, and this is such a grounding, empowering card to end on. The King of Pentacles represents material stability, abundance, security, and the ability to build something lasting in the physical world. After all the emotional and spiritual work we have been talking about, the King of Pentacles says, you are going to land on solid ground. What I am seeing with this card is that as you separate from toxic family dynamics, you are going to build your own financial and material stability. Maybe you have been financially dependent on your family, or maybe there have been financial entanglements that made it hard to leave. The King of Pentacles is telling me that independence is coming. You are going to create your own security. This king is also about building a legacy, not the legacy your family wanted for you, but the one that is true to who you are. Maybe you are going to build a business, create art, write a book, develop a healing practice, whatever it is that expresses your unique gifts. The King of Pentacles says you have the discipline and the practical wisdom to make it successful. I also see this card as you becoming the stable, healthy parent figure to yourself that maybe you did not have growing up. You are going to take care of yourself. You are going to make wise decisions. You are going to create routines and structures that support your well-being. The King of Pentacles is responsible and reliable. But unlike toxic family responsibility that is all about obligation, this is responsibility that is rooted in self-love. The King of Pentacles is also generous, but his generosity comes from overflow, not from depletion. As you heal and build your own abundance, you might find yourself in a position to help others, but it will be from a place of choice and surplus, not from a place of guilt or manipulation. You get to decide how you use your resources, and that is incredibly powerful. So Pisces, let me bring all of this together for you. The cards are telling a clear story. You have been doing deep inner work, represented by the Eight of Pentacles. This work has opened you to new emotional possibilities, shown in the Ace of Cups. The Tower came or is coming to dismantle the toxic family structures that cannot support your growth. The Star reminds you that you are divinely guided through this transition. The Ace of Swords gives you the clarity and the courage to see truth and speak it. The Hierophant asks you to question tradition and find your own spiritual path. The World shows you completing a major life cycle and stepping into expanded possibilities. The Ten of Cups promises genuine emotional fulfillment with your chosen family. The Queen of Swords is who you are becoming, wise and boundaried. And the King of Pentacles shows you building lasting stability and abundance on your own terms. The universe is removing you from toxic family dynamics not as punishment but as protection, not as abandonment but as liberation. You are being extracted from a situation that would have kept you small, kept you wounded, kept you playing roles that were killing your spirit slowly. And I know this might be the hardest thing you have ever done. I know you might feel guilty. I know you might worry about what people will think or say. I know you might grieve the family you wished you had, even as you walk away from the family you actually have. All of that is valid and normal. But please hear me when I say that on the other side of this is a life beyond what you have allowed yourself to imagine. There is peace, there is joy, there is authentic connection, there is creative fulfillment, there is financial stability, there is emotional freedom. All of it is waiting for you, but you have to be willing to walk through this difficult transition to get there. The cards are so supportive of your journey. Every single card here is either showing the work you are doing, the clarity you are gaining, or the beautiful future that is unfolding. There is not one card here telling you to go back, to try harder, to sacrifice yourself more. The message is clear. Keep going. Trust the process. Honor what you know to be true. If you resonate with this reading, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Are you experiencing this kind of family separation? Are you struggling with guilt about setting boundaries? Have you already walked away and found the peace and freedom on the other side? Your story might be exactly what another Pisces needs to hear to find their own courage. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing this hard work. Thank you for choosing yourself, even when it goes against everything you were taught. The universe is so proud of you, and I am too.